Cutter Top 10, Cutter Top 10. You know you liked it a lot. Time to see who is the best and the worst at stuff. You know, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling. If I have to, so please join me. Why don't you read? This is Cutter's Top 10. Hey there, Heather, ho there! It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. We're ready to rumble! Oh. Hey there, Heather, ho there! It's Jeff Cutter Diamond, and it's the top 10 what hit ponies in NHL history. Number 10, Andrew Raycroft. Andrew Raycroft in 2004 got 29 wins and won the Calder Trophy as he helped Boston get the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, Calder gets for a regular season performance because in the postseason, Boston choked a 3-1 series lead against the Montreal Canadiens. Raycroft ended up being the third string goalie after the lockout, and Raycroft was dealt to Toronto for the rights to Tuukka Rask. It was revealed that Boston would have released Raycroft outright. That meant that any team could have claimed him with no cost. The Leafs really blew up that trade, and of course we all know about Tuukka Rask doing just fine. He did get 36 wins to tie the Leaf record for most wins in 1 year with Ed Belfour. But the problem was that Raycroft just stunk it. He would make stops in Colorado, Vancouver, Dallas, in Italy and Sweden before retiring in 2014. Number 9, Joey Juneau. Not your average Joe, yeah. Joe Juneau was an Olympic hero that held out for strange reasons before becoming a Boston Bruin. Juneau jumped to the NHL without spending a single game in the minor league careers in his 15-year career. While on the Bruins, Juneau, who played left wing to the right wing of Cam Neely, had his final season ever in '93 when he's got 102 points when he was with Neely and Adam Oates on the line. He holds the NHL record still for most assists in a single season by rookie left winger with 70 assists. He didn't win the Calder because, unfortunately, Teemu Selanne was doing a lot better than him in his Calder year. Joe Juneau, I think, is had one of the best seasons ever for a non-Calder winner. Well, it wasn't his fault. It was just Teemu Selanne was in the being a rookie in senior year. He would unfortunately be a journeyman because he suited up for 4 teams after the Bruins before becoming a third liner from Montreal the last 3 years of his career. Oh, it's decent. He didn't even come close to 75 points after his rookie season. Number 8, Blair McDonald. Blair McDonald was the Oilers' #1 right winger in the inaugural NHL campaign after coming over from the WHA. Of course, Edmonton merged to the NHL. He was the beneficiary of the playmaking ability of Wayne Gretzky's passes. This was short-lived, as it lasted until the likes of Glenn Anderson, Mark Messier, and Yari Curry took over in Edmonton. McDonald would further tumble down the depth chart and went to Vancouver, but didn't really do too well after that. His best season in NHL was in 1980, when he got 46 goals and 94 points, playing alongside Gretzky before being replaced somehow. Number 7, Steve Penney. Steve Penney captured the spotlight in the 1984 playoffs. He, like Ken Dryden, among others, didn't play that many regular season games before his playoff run. He played a lot of games in the 85 regular season. So anyway, he played 4 regular season games and lost all 4 games, and then went to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is strange. And then he got the Habs through the first 2 rounds with upsets over the Bruins and Nordiques. Well, the Good Friday brawl would not have happened if the Habs had been shut down by the Bruins, like they thought. Before the Islanders took him out, Penny won games 1 and 2 against the Islanders in the conference finals, but Islanders scored 4 straight. He had 9 victories and 3 shutouts in all. He couldn't duplicate his magical run in '85. He had a knee injury and then couldn't get his spot back thanks to Patrick Waugh's heroics. So anyway, he was the full-time backup to Patrick Waugh. He did get his name on the Cup in '86, but was traded to the Jets in the offseason and only played 15 games after. Number 6, Frankie McCool. Next on this list is Frank McCool, who went by the name Ulcers because he had stomach ulcers that prevented him from being in the Army and World War II. And with Turk Broda being in World War II, Frank McCool had to be the big guy. He played in all 50 games of the 1945 season and led the Leafs to a series victory over the heavily favored Habitants, and then won Game 7 of the Stanley Cup that year. The Leafs nearly blew a 3-0 series lead in that 45 Cup final, like Detroit in 42. Frank McCool was actually given the Calder Trophy, and he set an NHL record of 3 consecutive shutouts in the playoffs against the Red Wings. The following season, he had a contract dispute with the Leafs, and he played 22 games before Turk Broda came back from the war. Frank McCool didn't want to play anywhere else and decided to retire and become a sports editor in Calgary. Number 5, Jim Carrey. Not that Jim Carrey, the actor, who used to be with Jenny McCarthy. Thank God he's not with her anymore. Anyway, this Jim Carrey, C-A-R-E-Y, was nicknamed the Ace, and he did well for the Washington Capitals. In the lockout shortened 95 season, he was 18-6-3, and was named part of the NHL All-Rookie team. In 96, he led the league in shutouts and won the Vezina Trophy. Unfortunately, of course, the Vezina is for regular season performance, not playoff performance, because Pittsburgh took out Washington, if you remember right. And then he was traded to Boston in 97, and after that, he just stunk on the ice, and he was a backup to Brian Defoe. He couldn't handle it, and he went downhill. Number 4, Jacques Richard. Jacques Richard was picked 2nd overall in the 72 NHL draft, but he decided to play for the WHA Nordiques instead. For the NHL teams, he suited up until 1981. He didn't have his potential. Oh, sorry. Well, I know he played for the Atlanta Flames and won others. He couldn't release his potential because of Guy Lafleur being his teammate with the Quebec Ramparts, the junior team. Unfortunately for the skeptics, he had that one wonderful season in '81 when he was on the line with the Stastny brothers, Peter and Anton. Marion would be coming in the next year. The dynamic duo had great chemistry, and Richard scored 52 goals, 51 assists. Not bad. Unfortunately, Quebec saw him regress from that to 41 points the next season. So he dropped 62 points in his career. Number 3, Wayne Babbage. Wayne Babbage had some great times with the Portland Winterhawks of the Western Hockey League and was chosen number 3 in the 78 draft by the Blues. He scored 192 goals in his 13-year career, but he only had one good season in 1981 when he scored 54 and couldn't crack the 20-goal mark in any of his additional seasons with the Blues. Number 2, Scott Bjugstad. B-J-U-G-S-T-A-D. So anyway, he was in his second full season with the Minnesota North Stars and scored 40 goals for the first and only time in his career. He scored 43 goals and 76 points in '86. Strange as it sounds, he went from 43 down to 4 the next season and was given his walking papers because of his diminished role. He only played an additional 237 games after the '86 season. He only got 68 points, 33 goals. Although he would never go on to regain his success, he runs an online on-ice shooting program in his name. And number 1, the Choo Choo Train, Jonathan Choo Choo, from Moose Factory, Manitoba. So anyway, he went from a prolific goal scorer to becoming a one-hit wonder poster child. In his 3rd season with the Sharks, he only got 37 goals in 147 games to date. And in late November of 2005, after Joe Thornton was acquired from the Bruins, Chichu had to get up and go, and his offense soared to new heights. He then scored 56 goals, the one in the Rocket Richard Trophy for most goals in 1 year, on a line anchored by Joe Thornton. And then his production dipped to 37. Oh, that's okay. And then to 23. But his last year in the Sharks system only saw him score 12. When he was traded to Ottawa for Danny Heatley, who's of course trying to resurrect his career, he would only get 5 goals in 61 games, and that was that. So the Chichu trade was not really the best bet for Ottawa. So anyway, that's all she wrote for this top 10. There'll be another top 10 coming up soon.